Divine Mercy Radio Catholic 540 AM is proud to present Come to Me, Encounters with the Eucharist, a local program that shares the stories of people who have been drawn to or deepen their faith in the Catholic Church by encountering Jesus in the Eucharist. Welcome your host of Come to Me, Lydia Tatum.
Thank you for joining us for this month's episode of Come to Me, Encounters with the Eucharist, where we will hear another inspiring story of encounter as Jesus continues to call each of us to meet him in the Eucharist. In the Eucharist, we are called to new life. We are nurtured by his grace, and, as St. John Damascene says, we are inflamed in order that we might be united in communion with Christ and with one another. On this episode of Come to Me, we will hear how Jesus in the Eucharist beckons us to unity in the Church. Today, I am joined by Eli Stroud. Welcome, Eli.
Thanks for having me.
It's been great getting to know you in the studio before we started the interview. So our little interview before the interview was fantastic to get to know that you are homegrown from North Carolina, which we don't get a lot of those. But I would be willing to bet we have a lot of homegrown converts to Catholicism in North Carolina. It seems to be a growing trend across the country, but especially here in what's been known as the Bible Belt. So it's been fantastic to go ahead and start getting to know you. Can you tell our listeners, though, where you are situated in our diocese and which parish you are invested in?
Yeah, so I'm down in Anger, North Carolina. Mm-hmm. So I go to St. Bernadette's, but I primarily go to Holy Name of Jesus Cathedral.
Very good. And you have a wife and a Yorkie poo named Phoebe. But other than that, how are you connecting into the community at Holy Name? I know they have quite a vibrant community there.
Yeah, so I'm 26, so I get lumped into all those young adult groups. And so I've been really involved with our basketball, Beats to Basketball, I think is what the name is called. Been involved with that. I really would like to be a part of OCIA in the future. I just went through the process, so I really would like to get back in that way.
Very good. So I'm guessing that means that you came into the church this Easter in 2026, that you are just starting to get your feet wet within the community. So before we get into that part of the story, can you begin by sharing a bit about your background, your upbringing, and how early faith shaped your life?
Yeah, so I had actually kind of an interesting story with that. My dad grew up. He was South Baptist, so he was really involved with that growing up, but kind of faded away when my parents got together and I was born. My mom kind of drove my faith at first. We were searching around. We went to everywhere. The door knockers, we ended up going to Presbyterians. We went to Lutheran churches, but we ended up going to the Methodist church primarily. And so I spent most of my childhood and early teen years going to that up until I graduated college in 2022.
Yeah. Going to the Methodist church, were you involved with like Sunday school as a youth group, mission trips? Did they do I guess being in Boone, did you do ASP?
No.
Okay. Yeah.
I have no idea what that is.
ASP is Appalachian Service Project for all those Catholics out there that some Catholics do, but it's a big Methodist thing. But I guess you were in Boone, so you're going outside of the Appalachian Mountains, right?
Yeah. Yeah, so I was involved with the youth group primarily. We went and did some mission trips up to D.C., and so we were heavily involved with kind of like local, regional, more mission trips.
Yeah. And so with your Methodist faith, I mean, what kind of bearing would you say that had on your life as a young teen and into your young adulthood?
A lot. I primarily prayed. I was very active in praying. We talk with Catholics about how's your prayer life grown and everything, but my prayer life was really strong even in the Methodist church. I will say it wasn't as structured, so I could go and pray and ramble on to God all day long. But I would say that primarily through prayer, and I would read a lot of the Bible.
Yeah. Well, it sounds pretty similar, I guess, to my upbringing, too. So I understand where you are in coming into this. So you went to school at App, right?
That's right.
Yeah, that's what Boone kids do. And then and went into what field?
Finance and banking. Yeah, so I'm in banking. I'm a banker.
Very good. And so Methodist youth, going to App. Were you involved in campus ministries at App?
I was with Ratio Christi. They changed the name, so I don't know what that name's called anymore, but it was pretty cool. It looked at kind of the early apologetics and how they connect with the Bible and how we can relate that to today's world.
So forgive me for not knowing this, but is that a Catholic campus ministry?
It wasn't.
Okay. Well, they're just yanking our Latin, but
Right.
okay.
Yeah, I know. I think it's non-denominational, but yeah. It's part of
Okay,
that.
so it was non-denominational. And then did you meet your wife in college?
No, we met in high school.
You met in high school.
High school sweethearts.
Okay, but she went to App too. I'm
Yes.
guessing. Okay, very good. So walk us through, I guess, where this journey into the Catholic Church began, because it seems, you said you're 26, right? So it seems like it was pretty quick after college that you're walking into at least an OCIA class, right?
Yes.
So tell us about that.
So I'll take it back a little bit. So I grew up Methodist, kind of faded away a bit during college. We had COVID smack us, and so they shut down the churches. So we didn't really attend for about a year and some change. And so we fell away during that time. Then we started moving, and we weren't able to finally get our roots. And we kind of got comfortable with not being part of a church, unfortunately. Then I realized, after being married for 2 years at that point, that a lot of it's going to fall upon me. And my poor sweet wife doesn't deserve to be led astray. And so it's going to be my responsibility in a way to bring her back to church. So I had to pull up my pants and get on it, and felt called to Catholicism.
Wow. And so what was that initial call? Where did you come into contact with Catholicism to give you that tug that when you're looking for direction, this is the place where I need to at least investigate first?
Weirdly enough, a lot with social media. Catholic TikTok is blowing up. It's become super popular. You guys have a lot of great podcasters now. And listening to that and just having the different speakers and their experiences from converting from being a Protestant and being even Protestant preachers and turning to being a priest or just being a part of the Catholic Church and being an apologist, it really hit home, and I was able to find truth. And even while maybe I might not necessarily agree with their rationales and their beliefs and feelings towards certain things, they had backing for everything they said. I felt like I was a bit lost, and it was me. How do I feel? And then we'd go around and ask, how do you feel about certain scriptures? And this person would say, I feel it like this. And this person felt like this. And so I felt like I could finally have consistent answers across the board.
Mm-hmm. What were some of those podcasters and social media, sites that you were drawn to?
Yeah, TikTok was an interesting one. It's kind of a mixed bag. You can get clips of really big podcasters like Matt Fradd. Listened to a lot of him. Father Mike Schmidt. Love the guy. Really, all of Ascension Press. They're all really good. So I listen to all those guys. And then TikTok was a mixed bag because I could hear people that are actively in the OCIA process and hear their same struggles, their realizations. And so it's like I was looking into a mirror.
Mm-hmm. That's interesting. So it's actually not weird. A lot of people who are coming into OCIA have never met a real Catholic in real life, but they are on podcasts. I hadn't heard TikTok yet, so we're going to touch on why that's incredibly interesting to me. But they are listening to Pints with Aquinas with Matt Fradd. They're listening to Bible in a Year, Catechism in a Year with Father Mike Schmidt. They're listening to or they're following Bishop Barron's social media accounts because they're beautiful. And he's, gives kind of real-time responses to some of the things that are happening in our world with just kind of I always hate this word at post-2020, but I'm going to use it. It's kind of an unprecedented amount of attention to his response rather than a reaction to something. And so people have been drawn to it. And when they come through the OCIA process, unfortunately, Father Mike and Bishop Barron and Matt Fradd are not sponsoring all of these people.
Right.
We have to get them real sponsors. So the interesting thing that you said is that TikTok had not just this mixed bag of all these solid Catholics who are helping you understand what the faith is, but you're hearing the real-time OCIA process as well. I've never heard that. So I'm just super curious. Tell me what kind of OCIA real-time responses were happening that kind of resonated with you, where you're walking through this and, hey, I'm struggling with this particular thing or that particular thing, and there's another person here somewhere in the world on TikTok doing the same thing.
Yeah. So it really hit home. It's really like all the concerns you have when you're going through the conversion process. So people, it's like the big ones. You got abortion, people, that's a hot button one. You got gay marriage. You have protection using sex. That's a big one too. And all these people, and also your spouse. Mm-hmm. I listen to primarily men, and they're talking about their times with their wife and how, she's not as, I would say, invested or ready to go, but she loves them so much that they're open to hearing and being a part of the classes. And it's really beautiful to see how their wives, going through the process itself, were slowly opening themselves up. And it's very similar to my wife's story. Mm-hmm. And so it was really great to hear that it's not just going to be a me. I can't be the person that converts her. I can be a person that helps her get into the door. But then the church just came through and opened her eyes.
That's wonderful. So you and your wife went through the OCIA process together. Sounds like starting kind of in different places, but did you end up coming into the church together at the end of your OCIA process?
Yes.
That's fantastic. Yeah. So with that, you guys have come in and you are stepping into kind of a new space as very, very young Catholics in parish life and trying to find where you fit and what your charisms are in the first place, and then how to use those and how to serve the church. It's just been a couple of months, but so far, how has that been for you guys? It
hasn't even been a couple months. We actually received our sacraments this past Saturday.
Oh, wow.
So we're fresh
oh my goodness.
Catholics.
I was thinking it was at Easter Vigil this past Saturday.
Yes.
That is amazing. We'll put a pin in that question for the next time I talk to you. Okay, I think I jumped the gun on this whole story. So walk me back to this past Saturday. Tell me, especially as fresh as it is, actually, let's walk the week before as you're preparing spiritually to receive your sacraments. Tell me about that.
Yes. So it went by so fast, and it was a bit stressful because I didn't want to mess up a word or say the wrong thing, and make sure I got my car in line, and did I fast enough before, and all those things. And we had family coming in, and we just moved. So all the in-laws and my parents, they were all staying at our house. So it was just a circus at my house. But the week leading up, lots of prayer, asking for, intercession and prayers from what would be my confirmation saint, and just protection, through this process, because I know as we go through this process, we kind of open ourselves up to, bad things. So I kept continuing to pray for that, and then trying to fast and just live in prayer.
Wow, that is amazing. So did your families come in for your confirmation?
Yes.
And they're not Catholic?
They're not Catholic.
Okay, so that is one of the things I kind of thought when you were talking about TikTok and about how people talking about their OCA process. That's one of the things that we don't talk about a lot is the struggle relationally with those that, that love you the most but are not fully on this journey with you and just might not get it. So relationally with your parents and her parents, how did it come to be that they would be there to celebrate with you?
So my mom just loves it. She's digging it. So it's really sweet to see. She's really happy and supportive of me. Mm-hmm. My dad's really supported me as well, but he's just hesitant of the Catholic Church in general. But it's really funny. I asked him, I said, so, what do you think of the church? Like, when you think of Christianity as a whole, what do you think? He says, well, I think of the Catholic Church. And I said, well, why don't you become Catholic? Mm-hmm. And then I get well, I just can't. So I'm going to keep chipping away. But I think I can get my mom sooner than later. She's really excited. Her parents, they're Lutheran. And so they kind of were more comfortable with it, so it wasn't too shocking for them. But they love her and love us. So they're going to be here regardless.
That's wonderful. Oh, my goodness. Well, okay. So after with the show, I need names and I'll start praying for conversions because that is incredibly exciting. That they were so supportive of you. Did you have any places in your life where you did worry about relationships through this process?
Luckily, no.
That's fantastic. I'm so glad for you.
Yeah, I'd say honestly, my friend group, I have 2 Catholic friends. They're the only Catholic people I knew. Mm-hmm. And they don't even live in the same states as us. And then everybody else is Protestant. But weirdly enough, as of the friend group, I was probably one of the most religious ones. And it's been really funny going to the Catholic Church because now I'm drawing back the Catholics. I'm like, you better go to Mass. You need to get back to it. Mm-hmm. You go to confession. So it's been fun.
I know. I'd love to track this progress of your friend group in the next 10 years to see how many come after you.
Yeah, I know.
That'd be fantastic. So with your OCIA journey, you've really you're just freshly through it. What during that process provided, for you moments of struggle, but then just became like eye-opening discoveries where the truth just clicked?
Yeah, I'd say honestly the Eucharist, mm-hmm. because I kind of thought about this, and I've talked to friends about this as well, is you could take the tradition, you can take the saints and stuff away. If the Catholics truly have the Eucharist, that's enough to convert right there. And it's still hard for me to fully wrap my mind around it. And even Saturday, when we went through it, I hate to say it, I was expecting just this full, just mind-blowing experience, but it was still so stressed in the moment. And I'm like, oh my gosh, that just happened. That I can't believe that just happened. And it's going to continue to take time for me to fully grasp, this is real.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and there is, to a degree, we never fully grasp. We can't.
Right.
It's an infinite God.
Yeah.
So there is also that, so that we have this opportunity for new experience with God every time we come to Him in the Eucharist. So I hope that you never grasp it. I hope that you always are excited and your mind explodes at some point, and then on other times it's more of a quiet recognition and gratitude for what God has given you in the Eucharist. With the Eucharist, I'm so glad that that's part of your story, because that is what we are here for, is talking about the Eucharist. With the Eucharist, walking from a Methodist, Protestant kind of understanding of, do the Methodists call it Lord's Supper? Is that what they...
Yes,
yeah,
I
Lord's
believe
Supper.
so. Yeah.
So with the Methodist understanding of Lord's Supper, which is once a month, once a quarter, or something like that. Okay. And then walking into the Catholic understanding, what was that arch for you? It doesn't sound like it was a hurdle. It sounds like it was just kind of a growing arch towards truth. But moving from this one understanding to the next.
I think it was a couple of things. One being adoration. And my sponsors, I had 2 sponsors. One set moved away. They had a baby. So it was awesome. Mm-hmm. But they encouraged us to go to adoration. They're like, just go 15 minutes, 10 minutes, whatever you can at first. You don't have to give a full hour at first. You're brand new to it. So I started going to adoration about once a week or so and just spending time. And then it just helped me grow. And then it focused my prayers to have something to look at and truly just feel that I'm in the presence of God. And I feel like that really started connecting the dots for me. And then also the OCIA classes themselves, talking about the Eucharist and giving us the specific readings and the different translations and how this is literal. And it really just connected the dots for me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. You read John chapter 6 as a new Catholic, and then you pull out your Protestant Bible and like, did this one say that too? Right. And it did. It was all there. We just missed it the whole time because of how the lens that we were taught to interpret through. So, I still do that every now and then. I'll open the Bible like, did the Protestant Bible say that one too? And it did. It's still there. It's all there. It's just we missed it. Our lens of interpretation was foggy, to say the least, when it came to that. So with the adoration, though, you had mentioned earlier that you were already a praying person, but that Catholicism gave you structure for your prayer. How did that connect in adoration?
A missal, That's super cool. We don't have that in the Protestant church. So when I was able to have a missal and I flipped to the back of it and it's devotions and prayers, like, oh my gosh, it's just prayers after prayers of all these great saints. And I was able to go in front of the Lord and pray these same prayers that they prayed. It was great. And also the rosary. It's wonderful. I haven't fully grasped that either. I'm trying to do it every day and meditating on the mysteries. My mind can wander still, but having that structure and having it be the cornerstone of the New Testament and, with the Hail Mary, it's just great.
Mm-hmm. It's the best Bible study you will ever do.
Yep.
It's just fantastic to be able to walk through all of the life, death, passion, and resurrection of Christ, but through the eyes of the person who loved him the most is just, it's a beautiful gift that we have. There's actually a book that I'll recommend to you, Dr. Edward Shree. I think it's called How to Pray the Rosary Like Never Before. I might be saying that wrong, but it's something to that effect. I can see the
cover.
See the cover in my eyes or in my mind. But so that's a fantastic one to kind of help you work through, even though you didn't pray it before. You can go ahead and pick that one up and read through, and it really helps you dig deeply into those mysteries so that it really starts just, come alive to you. And praying the rosary, you said you're praying it every day already?
Nearly. I'm pretty close.
You're doing fantastic.
Trying.
That's fantastic. You're going to make a great Catholic. But I think, digging deep into learning the traditions around prayer that we have as Catholics, reading and praying with the saints, opening up the Psalm book, and praying the Psalms like the saints did, opening up the Gospels and starting in the Gospels to pray and sit in adoration. All of these are just such gifts that the church has given us and kept and retained to pass on to us that, as we learn how to better vocal, meditative, and contemplative pray, which we didn't know we had 3 options as Protestants, right? But now as Catholics we do. We are learning each one of those very unique ways to come into contact with God. And then it opens up a whole new world of, we talked about discernment as Protestants. Like, how do you decide what you're going to do? Like, what you want to do. And maybe God has something to do with that, right? Or
Sure.
at least if we really want it, we can say God, said so. But when we learn how to pray and sit with God like that, like you were talking about in adoration, that discipline opens up a world when it comes to learning how to discern. You can't discern if you don't know God's voice. And so being there with him, was one of your sponsors told you to go to adoration?
Yes.
That's a great sponsor. Good job. All sponsors who are going to ever be listening to this and walking somebody into the church, that's the key. It really is. Because in the OCA process, you learned a lot of things, right?
Yes.
You had a lot of material to cover. 2,000 years worth of Catholic stuff to get into your brain within a year and a half. It's a lot. It's a tall order.
It is.
But what actually really has to be happening is this development of interior life, not just along the way, but leading the way all the way through. So you had a fantastic sponsor. So when you came into the church on Saturday, you talked about those nerves, about the kind of jitters, and it's almost like getting married, right? It just goes by super fast because you are anxious you're going to mess up. You're going to say the wrong thing. But as you, kind of went through your sacraments, tell us about coming back to your kneeler after receiving the Eucharist. And then from that point to today, Thursday, right? From Saturday, how has the Eucharist nurtured you in these past 5 days?
Well, going back to the kneeler, I was still kind of just stunned that it just happened. And I look over at my wife, she's to my left, and she's just smiling big. And the other people, I think there was 5 of us in total that got their sacraments on Saturday. The other 3 people, it's kind of like we finally did it. we did it, and it's exciting because it's also just the beginning. Like, we're just getting started in this church. And since taking the Eucharist, I have tried to go to daily Mass since. So I'm really trying to continue to make it a priority to receive that as much as I can, to kill off sin, kill off old habits, kill off all the bad that's inside me, and truly fill myself with the Lord. And it was really funny. Monday, I go in to work, and everybody realized, hey, yeah, you seem just so happy today. What's going on with you? And I'm like, must be God. That's all I got that's different.
With Jesus right
now.
Yeah, that's fantastic. Yeah, oftentimes people don't notice, but your coworkers did. Did they know that you were receiving your sacraments on Saturday?
Yes, and I've become like the Catholic voice for our little pod of people. Everybody's asking me. I'm the only Catholic, well, now Catholic, there, and everybody's just super interested, but everybody's really supportive.
Yeah.
It's been really, really cool.
When you look in news reports, even New York Times this year was reporting on our unprecedented numbers of people coming into the Catholic Church at Easter Vigil. And so people are starting to notice, and there have been many, many reports. And just like what you were saying with your two Catholic friends in your group, we still have attrition. We're still losing cradle Catholics, and at a higher rate than we're receiving new Catholics into the church. So we do have a unique role in our workplaces to be a witness to that faith. And so the fact that they noticed a difference, the fact that you're having conversations about your faith and that they're curious, those are all positive signs to what our future is as a church, but also as a society. It gives me a lot of hope that in the banking world, in an office building, there are people out there that are curious about the faith and wanting to find truth. That might be a big responsibility on your shoulders.
With God, anything's possible.
Absolutely.
That's all I got.
You just stand there to be his instrument. That's fantastic. Yeah. So as you're living your Catholic life now and trying to be a daily communicant, which please continue. That's fantastic. Go to the Eucharist as often as possible. How are you seeing shifts, just maybe over the last year and a half to now, shifts in your relationship with Jesus specifically?
That's a good question. It's deeper. Mm-hmm. And it's deeper because I feel connected to his church, and I feel connected to his people. And, I have a group of people, saints in heaven, that I've never tapped into in a way. I've never asked for their prayers, and I feel closer to him because I don't feel like I'm a stranger to his church and his people. Mm-hmm. So that's grown a lot.
Yeah. Are you in mystagogy period now with the 5 that you walked through with?
Yes.
Yeah. And so are you still meeting at your regular time that OCIA was?
Well, because Holy Name is bringing in so many converts, we actually have about a gap of 5 weeks. And so they're going to start back those classes this August, mid-August, I believe.
Okay. Very good. And so you'll have that rhythm, because I'm sure that rhythm of going to class every week, of walking towards something every week, there'll be a longing to get back with your comrades, I guess, the people that you really walked through this journey with. And so I love the way that they're doing that. They kind of give you a second to breathe, and then you're back into, meeting again and spending time together and learning how to be a faithful Catholic today, and moving through the end of this year and into the next, and hopefully you'll be plugged in and sponsoring your coworkers by next year.
Hey, I hope so.
That would be fantastic. Well, thank you so much, Eli, for sharing. Just so much of yourself and so much of your joy. I know everything is still so fresh. I would love to meet your wife and talk about her journey as well. We've had so many couples walk in to the church, especially over the past few years, And myself included, my husband and I were confirmed on the same day and came into the church as well. And so but generally you are on different pages. Is that though you're together, you're walking together as husband and wife, you have different worries, different questions, and different charisms that God is kind of lighting as you go along the way. But I would love to meet with her and to learn about her story as well. So for those listeners that we do have for our show today, what is the takeaway that you would give to our Cradle Catholic listeners for your journey into the church from where you were before to where you are today, and about your experience? What kind of takeaways would you give for them?
For the Cradle Catholics?
Mm-hmm. Yes, absolutely.
Don't let up and continue pursuing God, because it can be really easy to slip into just going through the motions, which we're all guilty of doing, but truly taking a second to take a step back and realizing what taking the Eucharist actually means. What does adoration actually mean? Because I know I've heard it with Cradle Catholics that sometimes they just get used to it and they've been doing the same thing for 10, 15 years, but don't forget the importance of each sacrament. Mm-hmm.
Most definitely. And what about our convert Catholic friends who are out there listening? What can you remind them of when they first came in and the fire that you have? What can you share with them?
Pray the rosary, stay focused on Jesus, and lean into the church itself and find your group. Yeah.
There's so much joy that you experience at the onset, but then it doesn't stop. Our lives are filled with roller coasters of emotion and circumstance, but there is this joy that we receive through the graces of the sacraments that allows us to be able to live this life and to walk this journey towards heaven together. That oftentimes we can kind of go through the motions. We can become complacent and a little entitled to the sacrament and ungrateful. You know what I mean? But having that reminder of this is truly a gift is what we need, so that we become just as passionate as we were before, just as on fire as we were before, and to allow our hearts to open up to receive the fullness of the grace that we're going to receive in the Eucharist, and to allow our hearts to open up to receive the Holy Spirit that we have. It's sealed in us now. He's given us gifts, and he's given us so much that we need that reminder as we go throughout our lives. Very good. So as you have walked this journey, you have seen God's faithfulness throughout, especially this last bit of the process for you, and you've seen his presence fully at this point. You've seen it in adoration, and you've received it in the Eucharist. What are you looking forward to? It's felt like it's all been up, 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 right? So what are you still looking forward to as you continue on? Oh,
I'll be honest. About Holy Week, I started hitting the downslope, and it was really funny because my sponsors gave me the heads up. They said, "You're really riding high. It's not always going to feel this way." Mm-hmm. And I started hitting lows, and I was able to see my wife grow at that moment. It knocked me down to where she felt like we were on the same level, and she was able to be strong. Mm-hmm. And so that was really awesome to see. She's brought me up. But going forward, I'm really excited to just mature in the faith, understand the Bible, and understand the catechism and how it relates, and how we get, I don't want to say the rules, but the rules and where we get those from. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And you get to walk through some liturgical cycles, next couple of years, you get to walk through the year from the get-go. You start in Advent and you work your way through. And so learning those rhythms and getting to know the saints along the way, celebrating feast days, celebrating life things that you and your wife will be walking through at some point, a move, a job, maybe a baby, all the fun things that come along the way. Having the rhythm and having the steadiness of the church through the liturgical year, we had liturgical calendars as Protestants, but it just didn't mean as much, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
It's more than just the Advent wreath and lighting a candle every week. You get to really feel the fullness of the church, and you get to order your entire life by it. Today's a feast day, great. Today's a fast day, fantastic. I can't wait,
Right.
And recognizing the gift that the church gives us to be able to live our lives that way. So as you look forward to your life as a Catholic, and as you think about what you have already received, and as you appreciate, I think is probably the right word. I see it. Yeah. You appreciate living as a Catholic. What do you think your hurdles will be? Because it does, it does feel like it's an up. There are downs, but what do you kind of anticipate? This is going to be hard for me. Here's how I'm setting out my game plan.
Truly living as a husband fully, in embracing that role and knowing that it's just as important as going into priesthood and that side of things and having religious orders. It is a calling to be a husband and to truly live out that calling fully, and at some point becoming a father and learning that and developing their faith and having them look up to you and ask all those questions and hopefully be knowledgeable and be able to give them good answers and guide them on their struggles because you can relate to them. Now, hopefully that kid will grow up Catholic completely and not really stray away, but I come from the other side too. I know those objections that they may have as they get older and older. And so hopefully I'll be able to alleviate those.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. What are you reading now?
Honestly, I'm kind of taking a break from reading, to be honest.
You've been shoving a lot of things in your brain and in your heart for a while, so yeah.
But I am trying to go through Confessions. Because confession is such a big thing. I feel like it's so freeing. My wife says it's similar to therapy, so I really enjoy it. But man, what a thinker.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, St. Augustine has more than that for you to read too. So once you finish Confessions, and then if you read it all the way through, how far are you into it?
Like page 5.
Page 5. Okay.
It's deep.
So you get the first part, and then the second part he expounds on the book of Genesis for a while. A lot of people just don't read that, but it is good. Go ahead and read his commentary on Genesis, and then pick up another one. If St. Augustine is something that is a saint that's really helping guide you, he's a fantastic saint. Feast days coming up. Maybe throw a party. August 28th, right? 27th is St. Monica. August 28th is, I think Augustine. If I remember correctly, I love celebrating feast days. My kids will regularly say, Mom, I love being Catholic. We party all the time. And it's because I'm throwing feast day parties to help them learn. But start now at 26, start doing your parties. And that way, by the time babies are here and you're guiding them, they are already learning from those saints. It's such a treasure trove for us. But yeah, so I love St. Augustine myself. Any other books, any other recommendations, podcasts that you think have been particularly helpful?
I listened to The Voice of Reason. I know he had his struggles and stuff, but he did help because it was a younger voice as well. And for him to be so knowledgeable in the faith, is really nice to hear. And plus, guy has a crazy good voice. I wish I could speak that well.
Yeah, we all do, those of us on the radio. We try to have a good voice. But yeah, so that's a fantastic one. I've been reading quite a bit myself recently, really on discernment. I think that's probably why I brought it up. Father Dubé, I think is how you say his last name. I have truly enjoyed that. I have a child who's starting to discern, and so I'm trying to read those books before she gets them. And his book Authenticity is a I think a theology of discernment is what the subtitle is. That's been a fantastic book. So I would recommend that one back to you, that maybe you would pick that one up as well. Well, thank you for being with us today, Eli, and for sharing your story with us. Your witness already in your workplace and in the world and within your own family and friend group is inspiring and will surely encourage our listeners on their own journeys towards a deeper encounter with the Eucharist. I know you're going to be telling everybody to go to adoration, right?
Absolutely.
Absolutely. And that deeper encounter in adoration is that deeper encounter with Christ, the whole reason we are here. Thank you to our wonderful production team here at Divine Mercy Radio. You can listen to this episode again or previous episodes of Come to Me, in addition to all of our local programming, on our website at DivineMercyRadio.org/local programs. You can listen anytime on the free Divine Mercy Radio NC app or your favorite podcast platform. Thank you for joining us for this episode of Come to Me. I am Lydia Tatum, and until next time, Jesus in the most blessed sacrament, hear our prayer.